most of them are made in China, and most of them are made in our factory. Yeah, I'm telling you. But why these luxury brands never tell you that? Because they are trying to pretend to be products of some sophisticated European countries like Italy or France.
We are going to be successful. In a few weeks, the shop was open. We sell the most expensive products in a country where everybody was going by bicycle.
Saw a slowdown and a contraction in the global luxury market. About 50 million people either opted out or were forced out of the luxury market over the past 2 years.
I do feel people started to get tired of purchasing products and realized that we just bought too much. And it didn't really make us happy.
Beijing-based content creators circulated the footage across Weibo, Douyin, TikTok, and YouTube during the week ending May 4th, sparking calls for a boycott in China, Louis Vuitton's second-largest consumer market by revenue, and reviving long-running questions about transparency in luxury supply chain. The 2-minute clip showed workers handling monogram canvas and vachetta leather under signage that read LV Project Room. Voiceover narration claimed the factory manufactured most of the brand's signature Neverfull, Speedy, and Alma lines at unit costs below 400 euros before shipping them to Europe for final inspection. The claim undercut decades of marketing that positions the label's products as artisanal goods crafted mainly in French workshops. In an emailed statement issued from Paris headquarters, Louis Vuitton called the rumors unfounded and said Bakari continues to lead the maison, adding that every item meets identical quality requirements regardless of production site. The company declined to specify what proportion of leather goods is assembled in mainland China, but said all pieces undergo finishing and quality control within the European Union. Controversy erupted as weakening macroeconomic conditions squeezed discretionary spending in Asia. Consultancy Bain Company estimates that roughly 50 million consumers exited the global luxury market between 2022 and 2024, the sector's first sustained contraction since the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis. Partners at the firm calculate that flagship handbags can cost as little as 300 euros to 400 euros to assemble, yet retail for above 3,000 euros once freight, marketing, and boutique overheads are added. Price elasticity is becoming a genuine risk factor, Bain senior partner Claudia D'Arpizio said in a March interview, noting that younger buyers are increasingly skeptical of luxury markups. The Guangdong factory video arrived at a sensitive moment for parent company LVMH, Moët, Hennessy, Louis Vuitton SE. Shares in the world's largest luxury conglomerate fell 2% on May 2nd, wiping about 9 billion euros from its market capitalization before stabilizing. Investors already faced mixed signals. LVMH's first quarter report in April showed an 8% year-on-year sales decline in Asia-Pacific outside Japan, and analysts warned that discretionary demand could soften further if mainland Chinese consumers redirect spending to travel or savings. Supply chain opacity has dogged the luxury sector for years. Under European Union rules, a product may carry a Made in France label if its last substantial transformation occurs within the country, even when most components originate abroad. Watchdog reports published since 2019 have found that Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Prada source canvas, metal hardware, and even partly assembled uppers from plants in China, Vietnam, or Romania before completing stitching or glazing steps in Europe. A legal practice, yet one critics say exploits a labeling loophole. Chinese regulators have not launched a formal investigation, but consumer rights attorneys told state-run broadcaster CCTV that they are reviewing whether the brand's marketing violates domestic advertising guidelines that require truthful origin disclosure. Li Xiaoyan, a partner at Shanghai-based law firm Junhe, said any finding that the label misled shoppers could lead to fines or forced corrective statements, though she noted that evidence of systemic wrongdoing remains thin. The video alone is not sufficient to establish fraud, Li said, urging authorities to seek import and customs data before drawing conclusions. Social media response has been swift. The hashtag #BoycottLV ranked among Weibo's top 5 trending topics on May 4th, generating more than 120 million reads in 36 hours. Clips posted from Shanghai's Huaihai Lu boutique showed small queues of customers requesting refunds, though store managers refused to comment. Influencers with millions of followers followers accused the house of profiting off ignorance, while some nationalist accounts framed the episode as evidence of Western brands exploiting Chinese labor. Inside France, politicians seized on the uproar to press for tighter origin labeling. Senator Marie-Noëlle Lienemann, who co-sponsored a pending bill to mandate QR code supply chain disclosures on all luxury goods, said the video underscores the urgency of ending opacity. Business lobby La Fédération de la Haute Couture et de la Mode countered that full disclosure would expose proprietary information and erode Europe's competitive edge. For Louis Vuitton, the brand fallout extends beyond China. In South Korea, local media replayed the factory clip alongside archival footage detailing past intellectual property disputes involving counterfeit suppliers. Japanese daily Nikkei covered the story under the headline, "Luxury Mystique Phrase," arguing that price hikes without commensurate transparency leave brands vulnerable during economic slowdowns. Market researchers at Euromonitor project that Asia will account for 53% of personal luxury sales in 2025, up from 34% a decade earlier, but warned that aspirational buyers could trade down to lower-priced labels if authenticity or value perception slips. Brands that cannot convincingly justify 4-digit tags are testing loyalty, said Euromonitor director Fleur Roberts in an April webinar. Louis Vuitton's own strategy has leaned on volume expansion and aggressive pricing. The Maison opened 18 new boutiques in 2024, including flagship stores in Xi'an, Chengdu, and Hangzhou, bringing its mainland footprint to 65 locations, more than any other European luxury player. Analysts at Bernstein say that local sourcing can help alleviate supply bottlenecks created by rapid store openings, yet also heightens reputational risk if consumers believe made in France signifies total production. Company insiders, speaking on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss operations, said that leather cutting and panel assembly often occur at partner facilities in Dongguan and Zhongshan provinces, with partially finished goods flown to workshops in Asnières-sur-Seine, Fieso d'Artico, or Sabadell for final stitching, lining, and polishing. It's a hybrid model, one procurement manager said. The high-touch craftsmanship still happens in Europe, but base labor is inevitably global. The brand insists quality remains uniform. In its statement, Louis Vuitton noted that all workshops, proprietary or subcontracted, undergo the International Organization for Standardization's ISO 9001 certification and regular audits focusing on wastewater treatment, wage compliance, and chemical safety. The Maison said it would accelerate an existing plan to introduce blockchain-based product passports by 2026, enabling clients to scan handbags for real-time data on materials, assembly locations, and repair histories. Yet past promises to increase transparency have progressed slowly. LVMH announced a similar blockchain initiative in 2019 with Microsoft and Consultancy, but the Aura platform launched only for select jewelry lines and has yet to scale across leather goods. Consumer advocacy group Fashion Revolution last year ranked Louis Vuitton near the bottom of its transparency index, scoring 11% versus an industry average of 24%. The timing of the rumor also coincides with executive reshuffling across the luxury sector. In February, Kering appointed Sabato de Sarna to the creative helm of Gucci after sales slid 16%. Burberry in March issued its third profit warning in 9 months. Market strategists say leadership changes amplify speculative narratives because sudden departures can appear like crisis mitigation. Bakari, 56, is in his second year atop Louis Vuitton after a successful tenure at Dior, where he oversaw a tripling of revenue. Industry observers describe him as cost-conscious and marketing-savvy, often pushing for rapid product drops to sustain social media buzz. Should he exit unexpectedly, analysts believe LVMH would turn to Delphine Arnault, daughter of Chairman Bernard Arnault and current chief of Christian Dior Couture, to stabilize the house. LVMH has battled misinformation before. In 2021, false tweets claimed that Louis Vuitton raised prices 50% overnight, sending shoppers scrambling to boutiques until the Maison clarified that the increase averaged 7%. Media monitoring agency Visibrain reported 4.2 million posts referencing the brand between May 1st and May 4th this year, double the previous monthly peak during the 2021 pricing scare. The luxury group's crisis communication playbook typically favors swift denial, controlled media briefings, and, if necessary, limited tours of certified French workshops for select journalists. A person familiar with corporate thinking said the the Maison may invite Chinese fashion editors to its 100% leather cutting plant or Ducy shoe facility to reinforce authenticity. Elsewhere, investors grew nervous that further scrutiny could expose labor rights issues. Wage audits by Hong Kong-based NGO SACOM in 2023 found pay at some Guangdong leather suppliers hovered near the local minimum of 2,360 yen a month, far below the median take-home salary for Chinese apparel workers. Louis Vuitton said suppliers are required to comply with its code of conduct mandating fair wages aligned with prevailing industry standards. Luxury consultant Mario Ortelli said the episode highlights a broader shift in consumer attitudes. Millennials and Gen Z ask where and how things are made, he said in a phone interview. Heritage storytelling alone is no longer sufficient. Bakari last week signaled confidence despite headwinds, telling analysts on an earnings call that commitment to French craftsmanship remains absolute, while acknowledging selective global production designed to meet demand without compromising standards. For now, the Maison maintains its 2025 goal of mid-single-digit revenue growth and will proceed with a planned 10th price adjustment in 6 years. Executives privately expect the social media storm to fade within weeks, though one senior manager conceded that transparency timelines may need acceleration if official inquiries materialize. The European Commission is drafting tougher anti-greenwashing rules that could require brands to substantiate origin and sustainability claims. A proposal under consideration would impose fines up to 4% of global turnover for misleading statements, raising the stakes for any company relying on nuanced labeling. As the controversy widens, focus shifts to whether Louis Vuitton will publish a comprehensive supplier list or adopt clear assembled-in tags. Any decisive move could ripple across a sector wrestling with slowing demand and growing regulatory oversight.